they arrive late.
No problem.
Two.
No problem.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today for our Utah 2034 press conference. It's been about a year and a half since we last saw you, and in that time, we've been preparing for 2034, albeit 8 years away. Today, what we want to do is to celebrate our 8 years to go and update you a little bit on the progress that we've undertaken, and in particular, looking at how we're working on projects now to maximize the impact and the legacy of our games, particularly through our work in sport and our local communities. I'll give you a little lineup of who we have here today. On your far left is Sarah Hirschland, the CEO of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. Next up is Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, the President and Executive Chair of Utah 2034, Fraser Bullock, and the Utah 2034 CEO and Vice Chair, Brad Wilson. Sarah, if you could kick it off for us.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I have to start. I'm here today, obviously, with our partners from Utah, and the relationship between the National Olympic Committees and the organizing committees is so crucial to the success of the Games. So let me start by just saying again, thank you to the Milan Cortina Organizing Committee. We're having a wonderful time, and on behalf of Team USA, you guys are doing a great job. And I am here to emphasize to all of you how excited we are about the journey ahead with the Utah 2034 team across the board. It's an incredible place, Utah. If you've not been, I encourage you to make time to visit. The culture of sport in Utah is contagious. It is a wonderful place to spend time. It is a culture that not only supports Team USA and has supported Team USA for many, many years, but it's a culture that supports the hopefuls and the young people who are inspired by Team USA athletes and, frankly, international athletes from around the world who come to Utah to train, to recreate, to participate, to learn sport. And it's something that we're incredibly proud of. And it is a place where we can all learn how to build healthy sport cultures, how to integrate communities and build strength both in humans but also in the communities where they live. And I cannot reiterate strongly enough how important Utah is in our country in leading in that development of both a healthy sport culture at the most elite levels, but also at the grassroots and community levels. And so I'm here today to show our support, our encouragement to all of you and around the world to really lean on Utah as we go through this journey together over the next 8 years, so that we spread that culture and continue to ensure that it thrives and is strong in Utah for many years to come.
Thank you, Sarah. We're so lucky to have great partners working with us in the movement. I want to thank our friends here in Milan and Cortina. We've been able to work very closely. We're very fortunate to have been awarded a game so early in the process that we get to spend time with two different Olympics before it comes to Utah in 2034, and we've learned so much over the past few days. But we are excited to have the Games back in Utah. Just some notes for our friends outside the United States. Utah is the youngest state in the United States with an average age of 32 years. We have the highest rates of service and volunteerism, something that we're very proud of. People will remember from the 2002 Games the tens of thousands of volunteers who showed out, and it's been fun to work with the volunteers here in Italy as well. We're excited to open volunteerism up again for the Olympics in 34. We also lead the United States in economic growth, upward mobility, and social capital, things that make Utah an incredible place to live. We were named for the third year in a row the #1 state in the United States by U.S. News and World Report, and we feel very fortunate to have people that are working so hard to make Utah a great place. Now, again, this is not the first time that the Olympics have been in Utah. They were there in 2002, which was an incredible launching pad for sport in Utah. And because of the wisdom of people who were there, some of them were there before us. One of them was there at the time, and we appreciate Fraser and his leadership then. The legacy of those games are present almost every day in Utah, in Salt Lake City, and the surrounding areas. We have hosted more than 1,200 national and international sporting events. Our venues are active. They've been upgraded. They are world-class venues, and they're blessing the lives of not just people from Utah, but people from all over the world who come to train there and to compete there. It didn't happen by accident, and we fully anticipate that 34 will be the same. We will use that as an opportunity to upgrade the games experience and make sure that it continues for future competitions. Now, I want to just say that we're lucky to have so many sporting events in Utah, and we're lucky to have so many great athletes in Utah. If you look at the athletes competing for the United States here, a significant portion of them, I think more than 30% of them, come from the state of Utah. They call Utah home. That's where they live. That's where they train, and we're very fortunate to have those athletes. I also just want to mention their families. We're considered the family state. I mentioned we're the youngest state in the nation. We have more kids per capita than anywhere else in the country, and we believe in the strength of families, and we honor those families who have sacrificed so much for their athletes. And one of the things that we're most proud of is that we will be hosting an athlete family village for the first time in the Olympic and Paralympic movement. That will be happening in Utah, in Salt Lake City, for the 34 games. We know it's hard. Sometimes athletes find out very late in the process that they qualify, and by then it's hard to find a place. It's very expensive for their families to come. We want to ease the burden on families and make it easier for them to come and participate. And finally, I would just say that we love the Olympics and Paralympics for many reasons, but most of all is the way that it brings people together at a very divided time in our nation and in our world. This is an opportunity for us to come together, an opportunity for us to see the very best of humanity, to celebrate our different cultures and humanity together. And we're grateful for everything that we're seeing here that does that, and our commitment to the Olympic and Paralympic movement. Everybody who participates there will be that you will see that in Utah when you come and visit. Again, I'll just echo Sarah. We hope you come before 2034. We would love to host you and show you the very best that Utah has to offer. And I'm so excited to be here with my colleague, the incredible mayor of the great city of Salt Lake, Erin Mendenhall.
Thank you, Governor. It's wonderful to be here. I love Milano, and I think there is a familiarity between Utahns and Italians. Very welcoming environment here. A lot of love that you can feel being in this community among these wonderful people. About a year and a half ago, Salt Lakers and Utahns gathered in the middle of the night for our bid in Paris at the Summer Games there. It was 3 in the morning, and literally thousands of Utahns came out to celebrate our moment of getting the 2034 Olympics and Paralympics awarded. Now, 4 nights ago, many of you were probably at San Siro Stadium here in Milano for the opening ceremony. Well, back in Salt Lake City, we gathered again to have a watch party and celebrate our connection now to the assurity of the future games. Our legacy in Salt Lake City isn't in 2034, and it doesn't end in 2002. It is not a thread through our community. It is absolutely the fabric of our community. Our love for sport, our love for the way that the Olympics and Paralympics give opportunity and hope and unity is built into the fabric of Utah and Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City will be the heart of the games. Thousands of athletes and spectators and coaches and families will come through our Salt Lake International Airport. It is the best airport in the United States, I can officially tell you, and you're welcome to come and visit us anytime before 2034. They will arrive at the Athletes Village in Salt Lake City at the University of Utah, and the medals will be awarded in the heart of our downtown, where you'll be able to watch Big Air and many other competitions. Salt Lakers are building sport into our downtown core in a new way as well. Less than 18 months ago, actually less than 24 months ago, we were awarded a National Hockey League team, the Utah Mammoths, that are now playing in the downtown in the same arena as the Utah Jazz. Our professional sports footprint is growing, and I could feel the enthusiasm at the USA women's hockey game last night that Utahns have a new relationship with that particular winter sport. Salt Lake City can't wait to host. Our legacy is alive and well, our venues are alive and well, and our passion in learning from Milano Cortina and the beautiful community here about what legacy can look like is part of why we are here today. I'm grateful to be with you. Thank you.
Now you can see why we won our bid 18 months ago. We have the best governor, we have a fantastic mayor, and we have a superb partner in the USOPC. That's what put everything together for us. So I'm so grateful to all of them and how they helped us. The big question is, why put on the games? Why go to all this work and endeavor? We see the opportunity that it brings unity and hope to a challenging world. And one of the things we want to do is put our signature on the 2034 games by doing something special. Yes, we want to host the games, we want to host the athletes, but how can we impact the world for good? And we have a vision which is elevate our communities, elevate sport, and elevate the games experience. And so the governor talked about one key initiative to do that. That's athletes' families. We're super excited about that. We think it'll be a signature element of our games. We're thrilled about that. But the other thing that when we talk about unity, there's a lot of meaning to the words Olympic family. And Milano Cortina is now part of that Olympic family. I can feel it when I go out there and all the volunteers and at the venues, and I was up in Cortina, which may be the most beautiful downhill in the world, spectacular, and seeing all the people working so hard to make these games successful, it just felt like we're all in this Olympic family together. And so I'm just thrilled that Milano Cortina has joined this important, great family that provides so much opportunity. And one of the elements of that family is the interactions that we have with each other, whether it's a volunteer at a checkpoint or whether it's innumerable meetings that we're having with the IOC and international sport federations, but they're so helpful. We can get so much work done. We're working on key elements of our games right now, whether it's technology or hospitality. We're trying to advance elements. But interacting with these great people at the IOC and other OCOGs is such a learning experience for us, and we want to learn from Milano Cortina. We've signed an agreement with French Alps where we're going to collaborate together. It's this notion of Olympic family and interactions and coming together. One last thing in terms of interactions, I had the opportunity to spend about an hour with President Coventry yesterday, and she's wonderful, brilliant, capable, and provides superb leadership, and she's a big fan of Utah. So we're thrilled to have these interactions, the relationships, the opportunities to learn, and we look forward to continued great games, spectacular games here in Milano Cortina. And I'll now turn it to Brad Wilson, CEO of Utah 2034.
Thank you, Fraser. It is a great pleasure and honor to be here, and we've had a terrific experience in this amazing city with the games so far. I am Brad Wilson, and my background is in business and also as a public servant in legislative leadership in our state. But I'll tell you, this is the most fun I've had. It's a terrific environment to work in. And before I go any further, I want to introduce two people to you that have the same name in this room. My wife, Jenny Wilson, who's on the front row, but also the mayor of Salt Lake County, who also happens to be with us, a different Jenny Wilson, and we're glad that she traveled over here yesterday to be with us. And that never causes confusion. Hey, I'm going to walk you through the Utah 2034 games by the numbers just a little bit, if I can. First and foremost, 8 years from today, 8 years, is our opening ceremonies. And so that's a marker for us where we will welcome the world to the state of Utah, and the light will shine on Utah. 1 year ago this week, we stood up our organizing committee. 1 year ago this week, I became the CEO, and Fraser officially became the executive chair and president of our organizing committee. We have a board of 25 and a steering committee of 35 that are helping guide and direct the games in 2034. A third of those are athletes, and we're thrilled to work with them, of course, every day. I also want to share with you, we have a small but scrappy crew of 15 that are working for the organizing committee in one form or fashion. But here's a remarkable number, 275. 275 years of Olympic Games experience inside that team of 15 that is helping guide and direct and execute our games. So you may know this, you may not, but one of the challenges that we have as an organizing committee is we don't have any marketing rights to fund our games until after the LA Games in 2028. And so we had to get to work and find creative ways to pay our bills. So we did get to work, and we stood up an organization or an entity, an effort called Podium 34. And here are the numbers of Podium 34. Podium 34, to date, since February of last year, has raised $250 million in charitable contributions from the Utah community to help support and kickstart and be the base layer of funding for our games. And we expect by the end of 2026, by the end of this year, that that number will be $300 million of funding that we have generated. And we can't thank the foundations, the families, the businesses in Utah that have donated those dollars towards our effort. Lastly, just a few other things that relate to the numbers of our games. I don't know how many, maybe 3 billion people in 2034 will watch the games come from Utah. We have 29 counties in Utah across our beautiful state, and our objective is to engage the residents of all 29 of those counties in our effort, and we want to see volunteers from those communities. We want to see people that come work for us, and of course we want all the people in those 29 counties to experience the 2.8 million tickets that we will have for our games in 2034. Team Utah is ready to get to work. Our mission is to elevate sport, elevate the games experience, and elevate the communities in Utah. That's it, Tom.
Great. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everyone else. We now take some time for questions. We have until about the bottom of the hour or 35 after, so happy to take questions from the media. Yes. Second, yeah, there you go.
Josh Peter with USA Today. For the governor, you said that you've learned so much over the last few days. What have you learned, and how might it impact preparation and what the Olympics look like in 2034?
Yeah, thank you. It turns out it takes a lot of work to put on a games, and that's the thing that we've spent most of our time not at events but behind the scenes. We've been touring venues, back of house, the athletes' village, the welcome center at the airport. And just trying to understand all of the pieces that go into a games, the technology piece, the transportation piece, and so we've brought teams with us from the state, from the city, from every organization that's going to be involved, so that they can be in direct contact with their counterparts here in Italy, and that's for me. It's kind of the overwhelming nature of a games. I mean, we just had a Super Bowl in the United States. It's like having multiple Super Bowls every single day. It's that kind of crazy for a couple weeks, and then the Paralympics on the back end. So to me, that's what we've been learning. We knew this coming out of 2002, but a lot of people have retired and don't bring that knowledge to their current positions, and we're just really excited. Again, it's helpful for us. We get more of an on-ramp, more lead time than any other any other games in history. So it's pretty fortunate that we get to do that.
Okay, down in the front first, and then we'll go back.
Thank you. Sebastian Arista from Ala News. A question for the governor. What do you think about the ongoing controversy between the White House and the athletes, and do you believe this could in any way affect the lead-up in the Games? And do you feel a new trend is emerging in which presidency directly influences the relationships with the athlete, and if so, what does concern to you?
Yeah, look, we love our athletes, and we're grateful for our athletes. We recognize that there are lots of divisions in our country and in our world today. I love that we live in a country, that we get to live in a country where people get to speak their minds. That's true of athletes, it's true of governors, it's true of presidents, it's true of every individual in our country, and I'm grateful for that. And again, we care about unity. We believe that this is an opportunity to bring people together. So grateful for Sarah and her team and all of the athletes, and for the competition that's happening out on the field for these games. So people are going to speak their minds, and I'm grateful for that. I think that makes us better.
Hi, Christoph Becker from Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung in Frankfurt, Germany. I've been to Utah. It's a very welcoming place, and the overall impression that's emanating from your press conference is a very welcoming impression. Now, the impression we get right now over here in Europe from the United States does not emanate from Utah necessarily, but much more from Washington. And we see photos or pictures or films, newsreels, of kindergarten kids who are taken off the streets, and they are deported to camps, waiting to be deported into different countries. So it's actually quite the opposite of a welcoming nation, a nation that the world knew as welcoming doesn't seem to be so keen on welcoming people anymore. So how do you navigate this this difference of the vision that you're presenting here and the reality that's playing out in America at the moment?
Sure. Look, we care deeply about the political situation that's happening in the United States right now. The entire world watches the United States maybe differently than other countries, and so everything gets highlighted more outside of the United States. I know the media loves this stuff. It gets a lot of clicks. I hate the questions you ask the athletes. These are kids out there competing. I think you should be asking them about their sports and about their competition, and let the politics take care of the politics, and that will happen if we have laws in the United States, and those laws need to be enforced. I think that's very important. I think that's true in every country. I've certainly had to show my documents when I came here to Italy, and so but those are political issues that will be worked through. 8 years is a long ways away for sure. We have LA 28 coming out, and what I would say is come visit now. Everything you see on the news isn't the only thing happening in our country, and I hope you get a chance to come back to the United States. I hope you get a chance to come and visit Utah. You will find it still a very welcoming place, as you will the rest of the United States too. We are a very welcoming country. There are some differences of opinion right now when it comes to the way that laws are being enforced, and so that will play out. We have elections just like your country in Germany. We have different parties in our country that are coming through with different visions, and we'll see how those things turn out.
Yes, do you have a mic? Yeah, right behind you. There's a mic behind you.
Yeah. Carlos Groman from Reuters. Governor Cox, your president called Olympic athletes real losers. So it is not necessarily the media that started this discussion. I was wondering, do you consider Olympic athletes to be real losers given that you're hosting the Olympics? And Sarah, have you been in contact with the administration about that comment? Thank you.
Yeah, as I've already said, we love our athletes. We're very proud of our athletes, all of our athletes. It takes a lot to perform at this level, and the sacrifice that goes into to these games, and being here on the ground and being able to engage with the athletes, not just the athletes from the United States, but we've had an opportunity to see and meet athletes from all over the world, all chasing that same dream. And I'm really grateful and proud of all the athletes.
And I'll add, it's important to us to ensure that anyone who is reacting to or commenting on something that someone said understands the totality and the context of what they said, and that's important. I will point to Hunter's post, I think from yesterday, in which the first line he said is, "I love my country." And I've been in touch with Hunter. We've been in touch with folks back in the United States to ensure that everyone understands the context and intention behind all of these comments. And I have all the confidence in the world that every member of Team USA is proud to represent our country and understands the opportunity they have to bring people together. And we're all here for that. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Hi, Graham Dunbar from the Associated Press. I think the general view from Europe is quite clear about the US these days. We'll talk about climate. Just to be absolutely sure, today, in 8 years' time, will be the opening ceremony. Is that locked in? Because the IOC has said maybe we're looking to bring the Winter Games forward to January, more because the Paralympics in March is the climate issue. But how much of preparing for weather and climate changes over the next 8 years is part of your thinking? What sort of measures have you got in place, and how much of a concern is it for you?
Fraser?
Well, of course, we all focus on how can we create the best fields of play for the athletes in the face of climate change. And actually, going back to 2002, when we had a warm March in 2001, and we were doing World Cups in March, we activated contingency plans where we had stored snow at higher elevations and brought it in for our courses. So when we look forward, the fortunate thing about Utah is that we have very cold temperatures at night in January and February. So regardless of the amount of precipitation we're getting, we can make snow. And technical snow or artificial snow is actually preferred for a lot of reasons for the athletes. And actually, this year, what's been a very warm winter with less snow, we have great skiing. I've been 6 or 7 times, and the snow is great in the areas where they've made snow. And so we have the opportunity to both make snow, and we will also store snow to have it available from the previous year. You cover it with a blanket. About 70% of it stays intact. So we'll have several sources to be able to cover the conditions. The biggest concern is really March with the Paralympics. The Olympic Games themselves should be just fine in February. It's the more melting temperatures in March, and we've got contingency plans to cover that.
First in the back, Alex, and then we'll come up front.
Thank you. For Mayor, I remember you said you were at the 2002 Games. You remember that magic. Something I've heard, can you capture that magic again? You were just at the watch party. Did you feel it again? And what are your thoughts on capturing that magic?
Yeah, thanks. Undoubtedly. It's not that I think we even have to conjure it. The magic is really partially there, I think, because of the proximity of our venues, the proximity of the athletes' village to the downtown core where so many of the events and celebrations will be, to the hotels that non-athletes will be staying at. You can walk around Salt Lake City and feel the density of the enthusiasm, even at our watch party on Friday night. And so I think the part of our uniqueness as a state, as an Olympic and Paralympic community, is that you don't have to travel far. You're going to feel it because you're going to be together. and the way we are built is key to that. The biggest part is the people, though, because the friendliness, the languages that are spoken, which are very many for the size of our population, and our love for the games is already there and strong.
In the front here.
Philip Barker, Journal of Olympic History. You were talking about what you'd learnt from Milan Cortina. Can I highlight a couple of areas? One is the ticket prices, because we're very aware that prices in the States are quite expensive. And for visitors from Europe, this is a big deal. I mean, what was it, 300 euros for an ice skating ticket. How are you going to make sure that kids who need to be inspired can have access and families can afford to go? Second thing is, Milan decided not to give torches to every single bearer, or at least make available torches. They didn't manufacture enough. I know how big the 2002 relay was in your country. Will you revert to having the torches for every single bearer so that people can use them afterwards as a legacy tool to take into schools, let the kids touch them, and that sort of thing?
So first of all, on ticket prices, tickets are one of the three major sources of revenue. And in our business model is that we don't take any state or local taxpayer money. So we've got to make it on sponsorship dollars from the IOC contribution and from ticketing. And so we want to be very careful about ticketing, and what we call it is a barbell ticket strategy, where we have some very, very expensive tickets that include hospitality for people that want to have the ultimate experience, and they're going to pay for the games. And that allows us to have very, very inexpensive tickets. In fact, we've committed to having 34,000 tickets for $34. And so the kids, and we'll have a school program where kids can attend. We've got another program we're working on with those that are disadvantaged so that they can also participate and experience the games. So we have a broad spectrum that we can be inclusive while at the same time generating the revenue we need to have break-even or better games. And so now, for the torches, in 2002, we had 12,300 torches, and we gave the opportunity for the torchbearers in advance to buy their torch for $300. I bought mine, and I'm glad I did, because I look at that thing every day. We will bring back the opportunity for people to buy their torches. We think it's one of the key pieces of memorabilia from the games. It signifies, I mean, the flame, the power of the torch relay is almost incomprehensible in what it does, and being able to keep an element of that history with you if you've run the torch relay, we think would be a great benefit to all those torchbearers.
Okay, one or two more questions if there are any.
For Sarah or anybody else who wants to chime in, I'm just curious to know if you had a chance to talk to Lindsey Vonn and how you feel about what's happened with her.
Fraser, you were there.
Well, good. I know she's obviously played a role.
Start and I'll go.
I've not spoken to Lindsey directly, but clearly been in very close touch with our medical team, who has obviously been with her from the moment on the Hill. I'll refer to Lindsey's most recent Instagram post, and if you've not seen it, look it up. The picture is extraordinary, and her comments are reflective of what only Lindsey Vonn can do. She's an extraordinary human being. We are incredibly lucky and incredibly grateful to call her a teammate.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. I was there in Cortina, which I'll repeat again, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Italy, you've got it going here. It's amazing. And it was a bluebird day. We were all anticipating it, and I was up there on right by the hill. And 13 seconds into her run, when she crashed, everybody in the crowd just went, oh, it was so hard to see that. But Lindsey's fearless. And she taught us how to come back from adversity. and put everything into it. Lindsay only knows one speed, and that's all out. And that's what she was doing that day, which without an ACL. Just amazing. I did text her. I haven't heard back yet, but she's an important part of our family here in Utah. She was part of our bid team. She's on our board. She's on our executive committee. She presented with us on our bid. She inspired the Athlete Family Initiative. She is part of our family in Utah, and we wish her the very best in recovery.
Just a quick comment. I've messaged Lindsay before and after, and she is the epitome of courage and Olympianism. I think part of what's so beautiful about the Games, and all of us could tell a story about watching an Olympics or a Paralympics when we were kids and looking at someone who maybe wasn't that much older than us and was doing something extraordinary. Well, Lindsay's been that. But now to 40-somethings like us, particularly me as a woman, to my 10-year-old daughter, Lindsay is doing it, has done it all over again. And even to be at the top of that run was a tremendous accomplishment. So she is family to this committee, and we love her, and I admire her as a human being.
With that, I want to thank you all for joining us here today. If I can help with anything else, please see me offline. Thanks to our panelists.